Hello and welcome, everybody. This is Peter Greenlaw. I founded the New Health Conversation. This is the New Health Conversation podcast. I'm very excited today to welcome someone with an unbelievable story, Mia. Before I start, I want to say this is for educational purposes only. It's not intended to treat, diagnose, or make any medical claims whatsoever. Before I bring her on, I want to show her just the beginning of her journey because it is definitely a journey. And I think when you see her remarkable results already, she lost 14.4 pounds, but 71 inches in 19 days. Today is actually day 21. I'm going to bring her on here in just a moment. But understand, this is a lot more than just weight loss. This is not a diet. It doesn't work anything like a diet. And I think she'll, illuminate that when she comes on. So welcome, Mia. We're so happy to have you this morning. Thank you so much for doing this. I know it's going to go out to a lot of people and you're going to really make a difference. So why don't you just give us a little bit of background before you started the R2M protocol, and then, how all the things that you want to tell us about, much more than just the number on the scale, although that's pretty exciting. And I think you've already peaked. It's day 21, so you're probably down more than you were even after 17 days. Am I right? Or 19 days, whatever it was.
Um, so I have a history of chronic pain. I've dealt with chronic pain since I was about 6 years old. It started with a nerve condition and like pinched nerves that just over time became bigger and bigger and bigger until fibromyalgia was diagnosed. I was in my early 20s. And I had always dealt with weight issues my entire life. Um, and it got to a point as an adult that it was horrible. It was out of control, completely out of control, lots of health issues, pre diabetic, um, high cholesterol, all of the things. I had severe depression, anxiety, the pain that I dealt with on a daily basis um, could get really extreme at times. And I mean, it was bad. I mean, I've always had to work. I've always had to do the things that I need to do. So I just pushed through it, but it was an agony. I did have some success with losing weight, but most of the time I would go on a diet, lose a lot of weight, and then at some point going back to normal foods, or not exactly the same diet, but just having some things, I would then gain all the weight back and then some. um
Well, let me support you in that. See, because there's a lot of people listening, they always think it's their fault. But starting with, this is one of my books, as you know, Why Diets Are Failing Us. Not a shameless plug for me, but it's my show, so I guess I can do it. But I want to read to you from Harvard Medical School. Here's what they said. Stop counting calories. The idea of a calorie in, calorie out when it comes to weight loss is not only antiquated, it's just wrong. They said we need to put the emphasis on what's in the food, not how much food they're eating. Now, to further support your point, here's another big study where they said why you shouldn't count calories, which I'm sure you did on every diet. You can comment on that in a moment. But let me read from the study. Truth is, calorie counting is a terrible approach for weight loss. While counting calories and restricting calories can help you lose weight in the short term, the approach has never been proven to keep weight off long term. What's even worse is 2/3 of people who try to count or restrict their calories will gain back more weight than they lost. Does that describe what's happened to you? Not your fault, wrong approach.
Definitely.
So,
Definitely.
so you saw lost weight, gained it back or more, lost weight, gained it back or more. So many people listening to this are really suffering in what I like to call, I don't like to call it, but it's quiet desperation. And I think you told me when we chatted before that you've tried so many things. And despite the fact it never worked, you never gave up hope.
No, because I knew that there was an answer. And and pre like in the 5 years up to finding
R2M.
this R2M protocol, I had been doing a lot of research about nutrition, and because I needed to find the answers to get rid of my pain. and I was finding some things that were helping relieve it. But with R2M, it's a completely game changer, relief. Um, you know, and if I can say, within the first 7 days of being on R2M protocol, my inflammation was down more than it's ever been in a very long time. I mean, that day 7 was where everything changed everything. I have more energy. The inflammation in my hands and my feet and my stomach. I mean, I know I was heavy, but all of those inflammation affect all those areas. And I was able to move in ways that I couldn't move. And I was like, wait a second, I'm doing this, and it's just been, I mean, from the moment I started, there was a change. But by day 7, that was life changing. And as I continue to just be on this protocol, it's just changing more and more. I feel better every day. I just have more and more energy. My brain fog is dissipating. Um, my depression and anxiety has lowered so much. Um, the energy is just
Well,
crazy, and
didn't you tell me before you started that your hands and feet were swollen and you have a physical job, so you had to push through? Sometimes you're working 12 hours a day. But I want to show them again. The most significant thing there from day 1 to day 19, she's lost a total of, look at that, everyone, 71 inches, 71 inches. And that was just in 19 days. And I think the thing that most people don't understand is that on diets, we know all the medical studies prove that up to 40% of what people lose on a diet is their lean muscle mass. You're already, and everyone, I want you to understand, she was measuring from her neck to her ankles in about 8 or 10 or 12 different places. So the 71 inches is cumulative. But what about, from your kind of your abdomen, stomach area? How much would you say inches you've lost off of there? Because that's the area that most people are concerned about
yeah.
initially. So what would you say in those
Um,
areas?
I would say that it's probably about 12 inches.
Wow.
So,
Does that blow your mind?
it does, because the first week that I was on it is where I saw the most drastic results, because it was literally my stomach went vroom, and I was like, whoa. It was like it was like a, have you ever seen a cartoon and just something happened? It was like that.
Well, I think the biggest thing is that because you are walking a mile in somebody else's shoes, your own, in this condition that you've struggled with maybe your whole life. What are things you can tell the listeners, the people that are watching this now? Now, I want to tell everybody a couple things. This is not a paid appearance. She's not getting paid to do this. So everything she's saying, it's from her. Okay, we're not influencing her in any way. Okay, we didn't. As a matter of fact, she volunteered when I asked her. I said, "Would you be interested in doing an interview with me on the New Health Conversation?" She said, "Absolutely," because she said, if there's people that I can help that are suffering the same way that I am, and it's not like you didn't have experience. It's not like you weren't out there doing. I was very impressed when I interviewed you how much you actually knew about nutrition and how the body works. So you'd already been on this path. You were seeking out a solution. And in one sense, it's like, I always tell the story about Thomas Edison when they said to him, well, you figured out, you failed 3,000 times, inventing the light bulb. Because no, I didn't. I just figured out 3,000 ways not to invent it. So in some sort of comical way, although it's not comical, you really, because of your experience with everything you tried, but it never, like that report said, there's never been a study to prove that calorie reduction has been able to keep weight off long term. And you've now also experienced, I know you were one of the results call where a lot of people were sharing what you told me the other day, that really gives you inspiration. But let's circle back here for a moment. So for the people watching this that are just like you, because we know the current numbers, 80% of America's overweight, 50% are obese, and frightening. I have a report here from, I have it in my hand, from Johns Hopkins Medical School, and they're saying that if the current trends continue, 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese by 2030 in less than 6 years. So you have a voice and you have the credibility that you're experiencing this, because that's one of the things you told me. You said, it's not like a diet. Yeah, I can't really even explain it to people. But again, just what would you like to tell the people that are watching this that maybe are in the same position that you were in, and you're moving out of that, you're moving out of that location?
Well, I would say that you really have no risks. And you're not really taking a risk because you have a 30-day money back guarantee. And if you're worried about the money, you will find it. You will get it. It will happen. This will change your life because it's going to change your life so much that that's going to be the least of your worries. Because it's going to create a whole new you. For me, my pain is decreased drastically, and that's huge. And if you're dealing with that, like, I'm not saying that can happen, but anything is possible when you get the proper nutrition that your body needs. Your body begins to heal itself, and that is clearly what is happening to me. And it really, you have no risk. There's no risk at all. I mean, you can send it back. What risk is there? I mean, this is like the reset of all resets upon reset. Like, if you want to reset, you want to start over, you want to make yourself new, this is the thing to do it.
I mean,
So
the other thing, I want to ask you this, but a lot of people tell me that when you realize, because we did give you a grocery list of food you buy from the grocery store, but you're only buying about 40% of the food you did buy. So even when you add the other 60% from from what's in this protocol, which are really, they've created the world's most perfect meals, you're probably not spending much more than you were before eating stuff that had no nutrition. And I don't want to put words in your mouth, but do you feel that way?
I feel that it's less, actually,
Wow.
because I'm on carnivore,
Yes.
and it's so simple. I mean, yeah, I'm buying quality ingredients, the organic, grass fed, all that, but um it's so much less.
Right. And like, I love what you said. I mean, what's the risk for people? There's nothing out there. But again, I want you to really, from your own, experience now and your own, genuineness, the, can you believe the way you feel already?
No, I can't. I mean, like I said, I've done a lot of things, and there have been a lot of things, not a lot, but there have been a few things that have helped me. This has never helped me as quickly. No, nothing has ever helped me this quickly, this fast, this amazingly. All the different benefits. I've had a few other things that have helped in different ways because I was getting more nutrition that I hadn't been. But this is the first maximum way that you're going to be able to get the most nutrition at a time ever that I'm aware of. And because of that, the rapid change that you see, it's so quick. I mean, 3 weeks, three
Right.
weeks, 3 weeks. And majority of my weight was lost within the first 13 to 14 days. The last week, I haven't lost any weight, but
But the inches.
I just keep feeling better and better. I am, and my inches have stayed the same as of right now. Cause I did drop a lot of inches,
Right.
but,
Exactly.
but,
So you're not
you know,
unhappy and you don't want to return it.
no, not in any way. I'm like, more, please. This is like gold in a basket, and you didn't know.
All right. So two things that I know, because I get these questions all the time, So, I mean, honestly, we'd say it's not a diet. But why do you think, having done so many diets that obviously failed you and are failing everybody, with 80% of America overweight as we sit here today? But what's so different about this than, say, a diet? And I know one of the things you told me, you can't believe you're not hungry.
Well, yeah, I'm not hungry. I'm satisfied. I'm beyond satisfied. So all of the cravings of sugar, all of the cravings of the junk have gone away. Before, when I would be on diets, I would restrict and restrict and restrict. And then what would happen is I would have these cravings and they would just gnaw at me until I broke down.
Right.
There's no cravings.
Wow.
I mean, at the worst, if there is something, it's emotional, and it's just a thought, and then it goes and it passes by, and oh, that's the thought, that was it, okay, and to understand like what that means, like there's people like I was a food addict, I had addiction problems around food, so for that to be just gone, it's eliminated because my body is getting what it needs, and I'm not hungry. I'm not losing my mind. I'm not wanting for anything because I'm getting everything that my body needs. So,
Well, and also you're following the blueprint for success. I know that listeners won't necessarily know what that is, but it really, you're learning a completely different way of eating food, when to eat it, how much do you find that the blueprint makes it very easy to follow the steps?
yes,
And, and
100%.
it, and
It's
it's
easy.
completely different than a diet.
Oh, completely. This is not a diet. This is just like, this is, you know what this is? This is a lifestyle.
Well, I think the other thing that's so, fascinating when I hear stories like yours, and over the 21 years I've gotten to hear a lot, yours is one of the most amazing, and I think I told you that before. But I want the audience to know that she's so motivated by what's happening to her. She wants us to teach her how to become a coach so she can help other people. Because again, this is a real gift that, number one, you're giving to yourself. And I tell everybody, I said, look, the first thing we need to do is when you have your to-do list, if you're not number one on that to-do list, why aren't you? Because our health is our wealth. And I love what you said. This is so much more than the number on the scale. I mean, it's like, 3 weeks in, you're feeling, I mean, had you almost given up hope that you never could feel like this, like you never thought feeling like this, let alone feeling like this again? Because you said from the time you were pretty young that you were suffering from these nerve pains and fibromyalgia. And look, everyone, we're not curing, treating, making a minute. This is her story, her results that she's sharing with you. Okay, so I don't want anybody going crazy and saying, "Oh, we're curing diseases." That's not it. All right, but I think what she even said and what she knows on her, basically what she's doing is infusing her body with massive amounts of nutrition, not massive amounts of calories. And again, Mia, that question, I didn't let you answer it, but are you just shocked at the way you feel?
I am. I mean, I knew because I had been watching you and I had been reading for years and doing the research. I knew that it was very possible, but I didn't know that it was going to be like this. I didn't know that it was going to be within 3 weeks. I mean, within 1 week, my life was changed, and like, that's amazing. That's amazing. And I didn't think that that was going to happen. I thought, sure, I'll lose some weight. I'll lose the weight. I believe it. But I was like, I didn't think that my pain was going to go away. I mean, I feel like it would probably be alleviated some over time and that it would take a significant amount of time, but not in a week, not in 3 weeks. I mean, it was like, it was like, it was like, I'm healed. That's how it feels,
Well,
you
I,
know?
I just remember the first interaction we had. You don't even sound like the same person. I mean, you told me the other day the thing you have now is real hope, and you have a reason to believe that now that you've always wanted to make that change. You just
Yeah.
unfortunately had the wrong approach. I mean,
Yeah.
like in my first book, why diets are failing us. I don't think anybody could think that if we got 80% of America overweight and 50% obese, and within less than 6 years, it's going to be 86% overweight and obese. We got to, I mean, this is the answer. And of course, it's backed up by 7 peer-reviewed human trial studies. But I think, Mia, that you really can be an inspiration for so many other people that are going to get to see this interview. And I think, so in closing, to wrap it up, again, what would you like to say to, I mean, people out there that maybe don't have all the challenges you do, but let's just say they want to be in the best possible health. Maybe it's 10 pounds or 20 pounds or 30 pounds or no weight at all. What would you like to say to them in closing?
Um, well, I would like to say, like, I'm sorry that whatever you're going through, I'm sorry that you're going through it, but you have no risk at taking this chance. And I know there's probably a lot of times that you've taken the chance, many times. You've probably, this diet, that diet, this is not a diet. This will change your life in a radical way. Maybe it might not be a week like me. Not everybody has the same results, but your life will be changed. I promise you that. And you're risking nothing but just health and wealth and a whole new life that you never thought that you could get.
I couldn't sum it up any better than that. So, Mia, I want to thank you very, very much for joining us. And this is going to make, I think it's going to have a tremendous impact out there in the world. And we need these kind of hopeful messages in, facing what they're calling this, the title of the study from Johns Hopkins: study predicts obesity apocalypse by 2030. That's Johns Hopkins Medical School. That's not some opinion on my part. So we're going to do our part. You're going to do your part. And I'm sure you're going to make one heck of a coach for anybody lucky enough to get you is going to be really, really excited about it. So anyway, thank you again so much. Have a wonderful day. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Wonderful. Nine